You just sign the papers. 90 chargers. 6 locations. Your name on the lease. And you're already underwater. That's the part nobody tells you before you buy into the EV charging game. You think you're buying gas stations for the future. You're actually buying a business that bleeds cash for years before it pays you a single dime. Stick around, because by the end of this you'll know exactly where the money goes, where it comes from, and why 2 of America's biggest charging companies are basically running on fumes right now. Let's start with the sticker shock. A single DC fast charger, the kind that juices your car in 20 minutes instead of 8 hours, costs anywhere from 35 grand to 140 grand. Just the hardware. Not the install. Not the wiring. Just the box sitting in the parking lot. Level 2 chargers are cheaper, maybe $700 to $3,500 a pop, but they're slow, and slow doesn't pay the bills fast. Now here's the gut punch. The charger itself is usually only 20 to 35% of your total bill. The rest? Trenching, conduit, a new transformer, sometimes a whole utility upgrade because your site can't handle the power draw. Trenching alone runs $40 to $120 a linear foot. On a big DC fast hub, the utility work can cost more than every charger combined. You haven't sold a single kilowatt yet, and you're already millions in. So why do it? Because the upside is real. A busy level 2 port can pull in $1,200 to $1,800 a month. A well-placed fast charger at decent utilization? $3 to $5 grand a month, before costs. Sounds like easy money, right? Wrong. Here comes demand charges, the silent killer of this whole industry. Utilities don't just charge you for the electricity you use. They charge you extra based on your peak draw, even if that peak lasts 5 minutes. On a high-power station, demand charges alone can chew up 40 to 50% of your entire operating cost. That's before maintenance, before network software fees, before payroll. One financial analysis this year pegged monthly operating costs for a mid-sized network as high as $94,000 to $190,000 just to keep the lights on. Quick gut check. Would you sink your savings into a business that might not turn a profit for 3 years? Sit with that for a second, because that's the real timeline. Industry data from 2026 puts payback at 2 to 5 years, and that's only for the good sites. The busy ones. The ones on a highway exit or next to a Walmart where people actually stop. Low traffic stations? They might never break even. Ever. Utilization is everything here. Below 15% usage on a fast charger, you're basically lighting money on fire. Above 30%, now you're cooking. And you want proof this business is brutal? Look at the public companies. EVgo, one of the biggest names in the game, guided investors this year to expect an EBITDA loss of up to $25 million. Their stock cratered from over $5 a share down to under $1.50 at one point. ChargePoint isn't doing much better. Their stock is down more than 70% from its high, and Wall Street analysts don't even expect them to turn a real profit for years. One research firm flat out said unprofitable charging companies could get, quote, caught swimming naked when the tide goes out. That's Wall Street slang for this whole thing could collapse if the money dries up. Before we go further, hit that subscribe button, because next we're breaking down who's actually winning this fight, and it might surprise you. Now let's talk about the elephant in the parking lot. Tesla. While everyone else is burning cash, Tesla's Supercharger network is sitting pretty with over 70,000 connectors and a reported 99% uptime. That's basically unheard of in this industry. Compare that to Electrify America, where real-world uptime hovers around 85 to 90%, meaning 1 in every 10 chargers you pull up to might just be dead. Tesla opened its network to other brands through NACS, the new charging standard almost every automaker has now adopted. That move didn't just help drivers. It gave Tesla a fresh revenue stream from cars that aren't even Teslas, funded by a company that doesn't need charging to survive on its own. That's an unfair advantage nobody else in this space has. So where's the money actually coming from for everyone else? Federal incentives, for one. The government offers up to $100,000 per port through a tax credit program running through 2032. There's also the NEVI program pumping billions into corridor charging along highways. But here's your risk, plain and simple. Government money depends on government mood. Policy shifts, funding gets frozen, priorities change with every new administration. Build your whole business model around a subsidy, and you're one policy change away from disaster. There's more risk hiding in plain sight too. Interconnection delays with utilities can drag on 12 to 36 months before you even get full power to your site. Imagine paying rent on a location for 2 years before you can flip the switch. Parking spots taken up by chargers instead of paying customers if you're on retail land. Equipment that breaks down in year 2 because you went cheap on hardware to save upfront cash. Every corner you cut now becomes a bill you pay later with interest. And don't sleep on the new players either. Iona, a joint venture backed by a whole group of automakers, went from 0 stalls to hundreds of locations in barely a year, moving at what insiders are calling Iona speed. Walmart just crossed 100 charging stalls of its own, with dozens more sites planned across the country. Every parking lot with spare land is suddenly a potential competitor. That means the easy, obvious locations are getting scooped up fast, and the sites left over for a new operator are the harder, riskier ones. Silence for a second. Think about that. Your competition isn't just other charging companies anymore. It's Walmart. It's a consortium of car manufacturers with way deeper pockets than you. It's Tesla, who doesn't even need this business to survive. Here's a move the smart money is making that most beginners skip entirely. Battery storage. Instead of pulling raw power straight from the grid every time a car plugs in during peak hours, operators are installing on-site battery banks that charge up slow and cheap overnight, then discharge fast during the day. That one trick can knock a huge chunk off your demand charges, sometimes turning a station from a money pit into an actual cash cow. It costs more upfront, sure, but in a business where the utility bill alone can sink you, it might be the single smartest dollar you spend. But it's not all doom and gloom, and here's where the real opportunity hides. Smart operators aren't just selling electricity. They're stacking revenue. Retail partners see higher basket sizes when shoppers charge while they browse. Hotels charge premium rates for a room with a charger out front. Apartment complexes use charging as a leasing hook to beat the competition next door. Some networks are even monetizing data and grid services, getting paid by utilities to shift demand around. The charging fee on the screen is honestly just the tip of the iceberg. Picture this. 2 owners build identical charging hubs, same location, same chargers, same budget. One treats it as a pure charging business and prays for utilization. The other treats it as an anchor for a bigger property play, stacking retail deals, lease premiums, and grid contracts on top. Guess which one survives the next downturn? The pattern here across every business we cover on this channel keeps repeating itself. The infrastructure looks like the product. The real product is patience, positioning, and stacking income streams most people never even think about. EV charging isn't a build it and they will come business. It's a survive long enough to matter business. So if you're seriously thinking about getting into this space, do your homework before you drop a single dollar. Get a site-specific utility assessment before you buy any hardware, because location and grid access will make or break you faster than anything else on this list. Talk to an energy consultant about demand charge mitigation, because that one-line item alone decides whether you're profitable or drowning. And model your numbers assuming 0 government subsidy, because if the business only works with federal money, it doesn't actually work. Drop a like if this opened your eyes to what's really happening behind those charging stations you drive past every day, and let me know in the comments which business you want broken down next. See you in the next one.